Hi everyone, this is my Mistress Hazines at the Naga fight, the Mistress fight. I can't say it. I'm not gonna even pretend I can. Um, so this is for the heroic guide. This fight is a lot of fun, really hectic. I'm gonna show you the basics. It is not a super clean fight because it's the first night kill and nobody had experience going into it, but it was a kill, and you can see the proper positioning to at least kill the fight or kill the boss. Um, Start with talents. Talent-wise, this is a constant AoE fight. So Abyssal Strike is key with Fallout, Flame Crash, Fracture, Concentrated Sigils, Spirit Bomb, and I'm looking at the damage logs here, and looks like 50% of the fight is melee, and just like 47% is shadow damage. Now, my logs are a little bit skewed, and you might run into this issue yourself, but when the ads come out during phase 1 and phase, well, 2 and 3, all 3 phases, the eels, I have a DK tanking partner and he's slightly under geared, and he could not hold threat on him at all. So you'll see in the video I have threatened all the ads and the boss most of the time. So my shadow damage is a little bit inflated. So with that being said, is your call whether or not you want to run with Demonic Infusion for the extra uptime of Demon Spikes, or Soul Barrier. I ran with Soul Barrier on the kill. On a repeat kill, I'll probably still run with Soul Barrier because he has the boss half the time. But either or is your choice. But Spirit Bomb, Abyssal, Concentrated, Fallout, Flame Crash, and Fracture, these are all pretty much set in stone for optimal performance, mind you. Gear-wise, if you have the 2-piece tier 20, use that. That is awesome. The 4-piece is worthless, and the tier 19 is also worthless. You don't need any of those. We don't use Soul Cleave. So, yeah. Legendary-wise, I use Prideaz and Archmon's Hatred Reborn for the fight. Other awesome combinations here. Let me pop this up for you guys. What you could also use, I wish I had this because I would recommend it, the boots. On this fight, you're constantly AoEing, like all the time. So you would refresh your Fiery Brand. You would get maybe just short of 2 a minute instead of 1 a minute. These boots, if you have them, are huge. I highly recommend using them. I did not have them. The waste will also be good because you're constantly AoEing. There's constantly new ads, so you're constantly leeching off the new ads for the first 10%. So this would not be bad. Oblivion's Embrace is also really good. And Cloak of Fell Flames, if you don't have anything better, will work because there is a lot of shadow damage. And yeah, do not use shoulders, bracers, hands, the crafted. You could use Safus, by the way, because there are ads that you can interrupt, so you could use that. But anything else I would not use. Maybe the Fragment would be okay. So to recap, highly recommend boots, trinket, Prideaz, pants. Other ones that would also be decent: waist, cloak, and ring. Consumables, always the same thing. Agility Flask, whatever it is. Agility Flask, and then you have Feast. Make sure you're in Havoc when you eat the Feast, that way you get the agility buff. And then for potions, I use Prolonged Power. You can use the Old War, but you're constantly AoE, and I would think you'd get more usage out of the Prolonged Power. Let me just say, for every boss, at least the first 6 at the very least, use Dark Moon card. It is huge. It will help a lot. So let's go ahead and look at the footage. Alright, so here we are. This is the room you fight her in. Now, positioning, we wiped 5 times in this fight just to learn how to do it. I'm going to show you what the changes we made to make it easier for you to kill it. First off, I marked the room with 4 markers that's just off the center of the room. Now, the goal is to keep her on one of these marks the entire time. So basically, if we're on star, that's where I pull her to on the pole, and there's too much stuff on the ground at star, I will call it out that I'm moving a triangle. But the goal is to give people a place to stand for the Hydra shot. Now, we wiped 5 times, almost always to the Hydra shot. We're losing too many people. You need to spread out enough and people need to see the arrows. So the whole idea is when we capture in the middle of the room, there's nothing guaranteeing that the range would all be on one side. They could be off to the side over here, over here. But when I offset her to a side of the room, you know all DPS and healers are going to be in the same region, so they can stand in front of the Hydra shot. So I marked down 4 marks around the room. Now this is a 3-stage fight, and you're going to be tank swapping in every phase to the same debuff, which we'll go over. So I'm going to pull, and I start with the Firebrand into the Fiery Demise window, and then your Immolation, Carver, build up Souls, Spirit Bomb, Immolation, all that good stuff.
3, 2, 1.
So I'm going to pull her to the star first. And we're going to have some jellyfish here in a minute. We're not going to step on these. We never need to step on these jellyfish, so just move. Now, she's casting Burden of Pain. This is the biggest shadow damage I took the entire fight. It did 27% of all the damage for the course of this fight, so it does a lot of damage. Basically increases the physical damage you take, and it's not good. So, but the good news is the only boss here that does physical damage is the Naga. So, and also, let me get this straight, I believe that all the physical damage you take is also reflected back to your party. So basically, if you take any physical damage with this on you, it's going to hurt everybody else. So the whole point is you take no physical damage when you get this debuff. So you have to taunt off when this buff comes out. But every time she casts it, 3 eels are going to spawn. So when the tank taunts off you, you'll pick up the as you tank him on the boss. So he taunts off me, I pick up the eels. Alright, so you have Hydra Shot going out. You have these 3 green lines as the Hydra Shot. I have the debuff, so you do not want to stand in these, or you're going to get railed. So I move out of them, and the eels cast as Dark Depths, which means they will Shadow Step to somebody, do damage, and come back to you. You can interrupt it. This is why Sephuz is possible to use on this fight, but they cast it all the time. It's really hard to interrupt. I use Arcane Torrent to stop one. Other than that, they just go. You just let them go. Now, one thing I do want to point out here, where these ads die is important. When they die, they leave ink on the ground. So, you'll see it here in a second. You need to finish them off. It's really hard to see. Alright, so right here you see this green patch. What this does is it removes any tornadoes. And it is necessary to do this properly in Phase 1 and Phase 3. Phase 2 doesn't have tornadoes, but Phase 1, Phase 3 does. So you want to kill them preferably near the middle of the room. I'm casting Burden of Pain. I'm going to taunt off. Now here's why my damage was much higher than it should be. The off tank cannot hold threat off Spirit Bomb on these eels. So I tank the boss and the eels. The eels do nothing but shadow damage. So my shadow damage was increased in this fight more than it should have been. The only bad part of this strat is since I'm tanking the boss and the eels, they're not positioned in the middle of the room like you want it to be. We may do with it because the off tank couldn't get it out anyway, so we just may do. What this means though is if you get too many puddles into melee, then you have to offset to a different position. Oh, also, if it's a Hydra Shot, you never move the boss. If that means you're standing in any puddles on the ground during Hydra Shot, then you stand in puddles, because otherwise you're going to get people killed. So if it's Hydra Shot, you do not move. So I'm standing in there waiting for the shot to go off, and then I move the boss. Well, actually, I just kept her there, but... Alright, so we have tornadoes. We look for the tornadoes. There they are, and just get behind the puddles. Make sure the ads stay on you. I didn't say this, but I said not to stand in, but this will stun you if you stand in the jellyfish, which it just hit me with. I had a pop meta earlier there. Alright, so I move her back to the triangle position, so I'm always in one of the 4 positions, so everybody knows where you're supposed to stand at all times. Alright, here I have the debuff, so I pick up all the ads, I get away from the Hydra Shot. Alright, so we're in phase 2 now. Now, during phase 2, we have no more jellyfish, we have no more tornadoes, but now she summons 3 different ads. We have Asunat here is the Kraken, I believe, from Cataclysm. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He's going to put these puddles over the floor. And you're going to see them spawn right there. So these are the puddles. You don't want to stand in it, it will slow you down. So Hydra Shot, I stand in stuff so I don't move. Burden of Pain, this always happens the entire fight, so just keep switching. Alright, so he's calling Vegeance now, I believe. Vegeance. So the whole idea is, you can see the telegraph. He's coming right down the middle, so you need to move the boss out. And you want to not move very far, just move as far as you need to, and that's it. Now, right here she has summoned a whale, and the whale is going to try to suck you in. So the best way to do this is you assign 3 DPS to handle the whale. So what they do is they run into these purple puddles that you see, and then run close to the whale, and the whale will eat the puddles off him, takes 3, and then he goes away. It's really silly, but it's kind of fun. So we had 2 demon hunters and a rogue do it, and their job, as soon as it happens, they take care of it, because if the whale's up when Hydra Shot's happening, it gets really bad. Okay, there's Hydra Shot, but then now the whale is gone, and we don't have to worry about moving. And honestly, this is just phase 2, nothing changes. You just do this rotation the entire time. You watch for the giant fish coming down the middle, watch for the whale, and you don't stand in the purple puddles. Alright, there's the telegraph, just make sure you're not in the way. Careful moving for Hydra Shot. I did not have the debuff, so I stood in and took a shot. Since everything was crowded near the nipple, I moved it to the diamond. And make sure if you're doing that, you call it out in any community, in Discord or TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, whatever you're using, just call it out, moving in diamond, moving in triangle. Now phase 3 starts at 40%, so we just need to get rid of 40%. Phase 3 is the hardest phase, so we save Bloodlust for phase 3. I'm gonna pull threat off the boss without meaning to, so I back away. I pulled threat as soon as the debuff went out, so that was serendipitous. Now, if you happen to stand in the line of 2 Hydra Shots, you'll get stunned like I did. I didn't even see him on the ground, there's a lot going on, and I stood in 2, and I got stunned. Now, phase 3 is going to have everything from phase 1 except no jellies, so this is a pseudo enrage timer, and everything from phase 2 except the whale. So you still gotta deal with Hydra Shot, you gotta deal with the debuffs, you gotta deal with all the slow puddles on the ground. But the fight just repeats. The longer you take in phase 3, the worse it's gonna get. It gets very hectic at this point, as more and more puddles start to spawn. Trying to move the boss out of that corner. Tornadoes, look to see where the puddles are. Move. But honestly, this is it, so it's not really much else for me to say. We just finished the fight out. Yeah, I tried to soak the puddles, but only allowed me to soak 1. So the two ways we wiped here, just let me go over this, is we didn't kill the eels fast enough, so there was no puddles on the ground when the tornadoes come out. The tornadoes leave a nasty dot that would start killing people. The other way is Hydra Shot, just slowly picking people off one at a time. Those two reasons was why we wiped on this fight. And this is it, guys. As you can see, there's a lot of puddles everywhere. There's a lot of ads up because people started to die. And everything's going out all at the same time. It's a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun. So, if this guide helped you or you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe. Leave any questions you have in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer. Thank you for watching.